Hello everyone and welcome to our video series on Learn German Grammar. In this video, you will be learning the difference between two personal pronouns, sie and sie. One of them is written with a capital S and the other one with a small s. We'll be doing a few examples for each one of them, and in the end, there's a small exercise. For a free worksheet on this video, you can visit our page on Patreon. Sie oder sie. There are two different kinds of sie in the German language, one with a capital S and one with a small s. Both have different meanings. Let's do a few examples to understand when to use which one. And here's the first one. Sie with a capital S. As a pronoun, this has two meanings, you or you all. The first one is sie. This is used in formal situations when you're talking directly to a person. This sie is used for second person, is used for a single person, and is used in formal situations. The personal pronoun sie remains the same even when it's used in accusative. In the nominative case, sie will be the subject, whereas in the accusative case, it will become the object. In dative, this sie changes to ihnen. You can watch our videos on personal pronouns in nominative, accusative, and dative. The links are given below in the description. Now let's look at the first example for Sie in nominative. Herr Müller, wo wohnen Sie? Since this is a formal situation and we are talking directly to Mr. Müller, you use the pronoun Sie with a capital S. Sie here is the nominative Subjekt. Let's look at an example for Sie in accusative. Herr Schmidt, ich besuche Sie heute Abend. Since ich is the nominative Subjekt, Sie in this case is the accusative Objekt. As you can see, the situation here is formal, hence we would use Sie with a capital S. This Sie is used in formal situations, when you're talking to someone you don't know, and when you're being polite to someone, mostly in authorities or at the office. Otherwise, you can use the pronoun du. The same sie is used when you're directly talking to more than one person in a formal situation. This sie is also used for second person, for plural, and for formal situations. The personal pronoun sie in nominative remains the same even when it's used in accusative. In dative, you would use ihnen. Let's see an example in nominative. Herr und Frau Müller, wo wohnen Sie? Since the situation is formal, you would use Sie with a capital S. Since this is the subject in nominative, do remember that the verb conjugation depends on this. On being conjugated, the verb will take the ending an. This rule is valid for Sie in singular and in plural. For example, Sie wohnen, Sie kommen, Sie heißen. Here is an example for Sie in accusative. Herr und Frau Schmidt, ich besuche Sie heute Abend. Since ich is the nominative Subjekt, Sie is the object in accusative. If you want to revise the accusative case, you can watch our video on the same. The link is given below in the description. Let's move on to the sie with a small s. This also has two meanings. It can be either used for she or for they. Let's look at the first one. Sie with a small s is used as a pronoun for an indirect female person. Let's see how to use it. Sie is a personal pronoun used for feminine third person in singular. In Nominativ and im Akkusativ, sie remains the same. In the nominative case, sie will be the subject, whereas in the accusative case, it will become the object. In Dativ, this sie changes to ihr. Here's the first example with sie im Nominativ. Das ist Julia. Heute ist sie nicht zu Hause. Do remember that the conjugation of the verb with sie will be in the third person. Generally, the verb takes the ending t. For example, sie kommt, sie wohnt, sie heißt. Here's another example. Das ist Nathalie. Sie ist meine Schwester. In this case also, sie is nominative subject. But since it's at the beginning of a sentence, you will use sie with a capital S. Here's an example for sie in Akkusativ. Marina ist zu Hause. Ich besuche sie heute Abend. In this case, ich is the nominative subject and sie is the accusative object. Let's move on to the fourth use. Sie, in English, it means they. Here you're talking about more than one person indirectly. Sie with a small s is also used for third person in plural. Im Nominativ, you would use sie as the subject, and when it changes to object in Akkusativ, then also you would use the same sie. Let's see how to use this sie in the nominative case. Das sind Tom und Robert. Morgen schreiben sie einen Test. Here, sie is the nominative subject. So the verb conjugation depends on this. The verb when conjugated with sie takes the verb ending en. For example, sie kommen, sie heißen, sie wohnen. This sie would also be capitalized when it's at the beginning of a sentence. For example, das sind meine Freunde. Sie spielen gern Tennis. Now let's look at an example where sie is used as an accusative object. Sabina und Martha sind unsere Nachbarn. Ich finde sie nett. Since ich is the nominative subject, sie is being used here as the accusative object. Now let's do a small exercise to see what we have learned. Übung. You have to fill in the blanks with sie or sie. Do remember that the sie with a capital S is used in formal situations. The conjugated verb will take the ending en. The sie with a small s talks about the third person. This sie has to be capitalized whenever it's at the beginning of a sentence. Let's do the first one together. Frau Mark, woher kommen Sie? We use Sie here with a capital S since this is a formal situation. Now try to do the next one. And your answer should be Julia ist krank. Sie muss im Bett bleiben. Sie here is being used for the third person Julia, but it has to be capitalized since it's at the beginning of the sentence. And now try doing the next one. The answer is Das sind meine Eltern. Sie reisen sehr gern. Since sie is at the beginning of a sentence, it will be capitalized. But this sie is referring to third person, meine Eltern. Moving on to the next one. And the correct answer is Das ist Ursula. Kennst du sie? Sie here refers to the third person, Ursula. Here's the next one. And your answer should be, Entschuldigen Sie, können Sie mir helfen? And finally, the last one. Your answer should be, Maria ist meine Schwester. Ich habe sie gestern angerufen. Sehr gut. I'm sure now you can easily differentiate between sie and sie, when to write it with a capital S and when with a small s. If you want to practice what you have learned today, you can visit our page on Patreon for a free worksheet. Hope you enjoyed this lesson. Danke! Thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, do give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos. Do click on the bell to receive notifications whenever a new video is uploaded. If you have any comments or questions, you can leave them in the comment section below. Tschüss, auf Wiedersehen!